I'm being joined in the studio right now by the person of Barrister Joseph Mekwuye, who is a legal practitioner, to help us even understand the legal position of all of the happenings in Rivers State. Barrister, it's a delight to have you on Korero.
Thank you. Good evening once again.
Well, Barrister, let's even dive into the conversation. First, help us understand what is the position of the law in the whole Fubara impeachment saga. Is the State House of Assembly actually right in the decision that they are even taking and standing upon?
Well, thank you very much. Taking the legal standpoint and perspective, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, provides for the removal of a governor. There are two sections, Section 188 and Section 189, that provides for the process and procedure for removing a governor from office, or for a governor to lose his office seat. Section 188 talks about impeachment procedure, how the governor or his deputy or both can be impeached, and under what circumstance they should be impeached. And Section 189 is when talked about when there's incapacity, either by through illness or any other means. Maybe the governor or his deputy is incapacitated, either one way or the other, unfit to carry out the functions of his office. Section 189 talks about that. But under Section 188, it has subsections 1 to 11, which, if looked at collectively, you see how it provides that a governor can lose his seat through impeachment procedures. And from Section 1, subsection 1 to subsection 8, it tells you the procedure the House of Assembly of the state can pass through, go through to all the procedures they have to pass through to get a governor impeached. You know, so it's quite it's not something I should keep come here and begin to read out. Now it's quite elaborate. But if you want me to do that, I can go ahead and read.
You can help us understand it.
Beautiful,
of course.
So that those are the areas that it states how a governor or his deputy or both can be removed from office. So if we look at Section 188, which makes for the removal of a governor, you see that it says under Section 188, subsection 1, it says that the governor or deputy governor of a state may be removed from office in accordance with the provisions of this section. Subsection 2 states that whenever a notice of any allegation in writing signed by not less than 1/3 of members of the House of Assembly, A, is presented to the Speaker of the House of Assembly of the state, B, stating that the holder of such office is guilty of gross misconduct. That will come to gross misconduct is provided for under the definition of gross misconduct is provided for under subsection 11. We'll come to that later. He said the details, particulars of which that misconduct must be specified. The details must be specified in that notice served to the Speaker by not less than 1/3
of the House of Assembly. Yes.
Now, the Speaker of the House of Assembly shall, within 7 days of the receipt of that notice, cause a copy of the notice to be served on the holder of the office and on each member of the House of Assembly, and shall also cause any statement made in reply to the allegation to the holder of the office to be served on each member of the House of Assembly. Subsection 3 says that within 14 days of the presentation of the notice to the Speaker of the House of Assembly, whether or not any statement was made by the holder of that's the governor, in reply to the allegation contained in the notice, the House of Assembly shall resolve by motion without any debate whether or not the allegation shall be investigated. Subsection 4 states that a motion of the House of Assembly that the allegation be investigated shall not be declared as having been passed unless it is supported by the vote of not less than 2/3 majority of the members of the. So these are just all the procedures. Coming to, let's go down so that we don't waste much time. Where the panel's report is now, subsection 6 says that the holder of the office whose conduct is being investigated under this section shall have the right to defend himself in person or be represented by the panel by a legal practitioner of his choice. A panel appointed under this section shall have such powers, or what the panel appointed.
All right.
No, all these things are the way you can go ahead and impeach. But now, going down to the other, let me just get this clear.
Please.
Going down to subsection 10, after all these procedures has been stated on how you can go ahead and impeach a governor, subsection 10 says that no proceedings or determination of the panel of the House of Assembly or any matter relating to such proceedings or determination shall be entertained or questioned in any law court.
All right. Barrister, there is a legal maxim that says veritas mihi verito nisi abscondis. Truth fears nothing but being hidden. In this particular issue, looking at Fubara's case, first, section 187, section 188, which you've cited, as of course, it is the grand norm which you are even reading from.
Yes.
That there tends to be a lacuna, or help us understand it, there's a lacuna even on the grand norm.
Yes.
First, we are seeing a situation where the sitting governor and the deputy governor are asked to vacate their seats, their office, constitutionally elected into those offices. Is there a provision in the Constitution for this to be achieved under section 188 and 187 and 188, or there is a lacuna in that?
There is no lacuna.
All right.
No lacuna at all. First of all, get it right. Like you said, this is the ground norm. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the law on which every other law rests upon. It states under section 1, subsection 1 of the Constitution that, let me, in fact, I don't need to be.
Well, help us on just
get it clearly. Let me come. Section 1, subsection of the Constitution says that this Constitution is supreme and its provision shall have binding force on all authorities and persons. This Constitution is supreme and shall have binding force on all authorities and persons throughout the.
So this exercise, you think there's no lacuna?
There's no lacuna at all.
In section 187, section 188 of the Constitution,
yes,
you're saying there is no lacuna.
Yes, no.
So
how? If you say
so when we say that, when you say that there is no lacuna, we can now say that it is justiciable, or perhaps to remove a sitting governor and the deputy governor simultaneously.
Yes.
And the Constitution holds sway to that position.
That Constitution provides for it. If
simultaneously.
Yes.
Of course, you've cited section 188 and subsection 1, 2, 3, 4, and down to 10.
Yes.
And there is no specification on that. Can we say at this point that the Rivers State House of Assembly are going overboard?
Overboard in what sense?
Overboard in the constitutional implementation of the interpretation of the Constitution, looking at giving the Constitution a purposive and its literal interpretation. Can we say that they are going overboard in all of this?
I want to.
Okay, so overboard in this case will mean that taking two elected officers out of office simultaneously without the what has been stated as due to all of this going overboard in all of this. Can we say that the Rivers State House of Assembly have erred in this, or there is a lacuna in the Constitution that did not categorically state the criteria for removing two elected officers from office?
No. The Constitution says that you can either remove one or both if the House of Assembly finds a reason that both of them
gross misconduct.
And
it is possible that both of them can commit gross misconduct simultaneously.
It is possible because I am the principal, you are my subordinate. If what I do you support, if the House gets something straight, that's something a lot of Nigerians don't know about. That we know, but some people are not aversing our minds to it. in democracy, there's something we call separation of powers. You have the executive, you have the legislature, and the judiciary. These are institutions of government. These are authorities, which the Constitution says that they are under, that the Constitution has a binding force on all authorities and persons. And the separation of powers says that the executive is elected like president or governor, is an executive. In the state, the governor is the executive, right? And he's a deputy. And it's executive members, the commissioners, and the rest. The House of Assembly, that is where you really find democracy in play. House of Assembly is where you have the people, because democracy is about it's a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And if you check in military dictatorship, you have executive, you have judiciary, you don't have legislature. Check all military dictatorships. You have the executive, the commander-in-chief and all that, and it's Armed Forces Ruling Council. You now go and have judiciary. You don't have legislature. The legislature are the people. Because you see, like in say state now, you have maybe 27 lawmakers. Who are they? They are the people representing their own. Everybody cannot come from my constituency to come to the assembly to sit down and talk. So we bring out somebody to go and represent and talk on our behalf. So whoever is there is representing his people. So when the people sit down and say, Governor, you are the executive, this House of Assembly is now saying, something you are doing wrong, we don't think you should continue on it. Watch it. And you see, you want to continue on that trajectory. They said, watch it. No, you are going. These are the people. And they are saying, no, we can't allow you continue. We have appropriated this, or we have done this. We have said this. The law is made by the assembly, either national, as in the state of Nigeria, or state assembly, as in River State, for example. The law is made by the House of Assembly. And if the law made by them, an individual or a person or is violating it, they have the right to call it like. But if you refuse, the Constitution states how. If you refuse to abide by what the law says, how the people who are the assembly now can remove you. That's this one, section 188, from section 1 down to 11. It says, it even goes to define what gross misconduct means under subsection 11. So that you check, and what that means is, it is what the people, the House of Assembly, sees as gross misconduct, and they outline it for you. It is stated that they must outline whatever the offense they have seen, they put together as in the notice, and they look at it and they serve the governor.
Well, in this case,
yes,
looking at the River State in general,
yes,
the gross misconduct
yes,
stated by the House of Assembly,
yes,
is that the governor has refused to present his budget.
Not just that.
Well, that's largely the gross misconduct, financial misappropriation, and
yes,
what have you.
Yes.
And that's what constitutes a gross misconduct.
Yes.
But looking at the practicality of all of this accusation leveled against the governor,
yes,
can we say that the Assembly are right with their submissions?
Yes. Before 27 members...
Because the panel has not been set up, and the governor has not been allowed to defend himself in the panel. Can we say that these proceedings, they are right with all of these proceedings? That's one. Then two, can we say that this is politically motivated?
Let's get it clear first.
All right, please.
Number one, let's just get the legal aspect before going to the political aspect.
Let's get the legal aspect.
The legal aspect is what we're trying to clarify, yes, how the law provides for these things to be done, before we now go into the politics of it. The legal aspect, we're telling you here that there are procedures, and then you just said something about the panel has not been set up and the governor has not
Which allowed, is enshrined in section 188 subsection 10,
yeah,
which is supposed to be a clear provision of the Constitution.
It's saying that
clear proviso of the Constitution.
They have not been, the governor has not been allowed to come and defend himself. But it's not what.
But the panel has not been set up.
The procedure is this. The procedure is that the speaker will write a notice, a letter to the chief judge of the state, to set up a panel of 7 men of people of high integrity in the state, not politicians, not people in any government organization, people known with of high integrity. But now, the governor is going ahead to go to court to stop that panel from being constituted. What I'm saying in effect is that if you know that you are clean, what the allegations are, you let them go ahead with the process. Like, let me go to where, former governor of Anambra State, who was impeached, Peter Obi.
Peter Obi, yeah.
Peter Obi was impeached.
Yeah.
He allowed them to go through their process, which what the law says. He allowed them to go through it, and they impeached him. He now went to court. He approached the court to say that the process passed through, undertaken by the House, were wrong. And the court looked at it and said, yes, you guys did not impeach this man properly through the procedure, and they brought him back. So what we're saying here is that allow the process to go through. You don't go halfway. That's what subsection 10 says. That in these proceedings and process of impeachment, no court is allowed to entertain. Your jurisdiction is no court, not the Supreme Court, no court in Nigeria is allowed to entertain it. Look at it.
But in a lot of impeachment cases in the country, a lot of courts have intervened, taking it from Ekiti State down to other states across the country where they have it.
When they intervened, what happened?
It was stalled.
Political. I think it was politically done, and it was allowed to be swept under the carpet. If it was taken further than that, you tell that the courts that went giving injunction or whatever you call it, order stopping the panel, the chief justice of the state to empanel the 7-man panel, is wrong. You allow the process to go.
But it has become a judicial precedent.
How?
Well, over the years, we've seen an injunction trying to even stop the court from, even trying to stop the chief judge from carrying out this exercise of even constituting the panel. It has become a recurring phenomenon and a common decimal factor in Nigerian body politics. So let me allow you to even express on that section. Yeah,
I go again. What is allowed by a court is allow the process to go through. You don't halt the process. The court can review the process of impeachment, just like in the case of Peter Obi. The court waited, the man waited. After impeachment, he went to court to say they didn't pass through the normal procedures and process. And the court looked at it and said, yes, you didn't. And that was how he got back. You don't go to stop, just like a man commits a crime, like what we are seeing today in Nigeria, where people, AFCC or whatever, ICP is going to prosecute somebody for stealing and embezzlement. He goes to court to take an injunction to stop being prosecuted. Somebody commits offense on the road. The policeman gets hold of you and arrests you. They want to prosecute you, or they are trying to investigate. You go to court to stop the police from arresting you. The police come, gives you a warrant of arrest. You follow them. So they investigate you. Find out if you didn't commit the offense, they allow you go. If you commit the offense, they prosecute you, and the court looks into the matter and finds you guilty or finds you not guilty. But you don't stop the process of investigating you. If you know that you have not committed the offense that is being stated by the House of Assembly, yes, let them go ahead and institute a panel. And here, the Constitution under subsection 7 or 8 gives you the right to represent yourself in that panel, to clear yourself, or you get a legal practitioner of your own choice to represent you. It's provided for, not for you to stop the process and say, no, you can't investigate me. That's what is going on in this country. Somebody commits an offense, before you know, he's going to run to the court to go and get injunction to stop them from. Come on, if you know you are not guilty, allow them investigate you then. It is even provided here too that under subsection 8, listen to it properly, where the panel set up by the chief judge reports to the House of Assembly that the allegation has not been proved, no further proceedings shall be taken in respect of that matter. Cure ED. It means you cannot impeach this man. You have not proven your case. Allow them to go. If the 7-man panel under subsection says you have not proven the case, the allegation you wrote down against this man, you couldn't prove it. The 7-man panel says you did. It ends there. Nobody can go further. That's it ends. So allow it now.
Oh, but so in this case, yes, the courts that has over the years been able to give injunctions
They are wrong.
in this regard? You're saying that
Those high court judges, they didn't go beyond the high court.
You're saying that the courts have
let them go beyond the high court level. They that they are wrong. You don't have the right to stop.
So in this case, we have this.
The constitution says you cannot.
Getting an injunction to stop what the governor feels it is unconstitutional because they have not been
unconstitutional?
Well, I don't know because you're looking at
impeachment
over the years.
No.
We've had that same thing played out in
unconstitutional. Impeachment is unconstitutional.
In Ekiti. We have it played out in Edo State. Because the deputy governor, we have that played out in various states. Now, looking at all of those states played out
under the table and let it go.
So you're saying
if it went further, they will have
that this court, Nigerian courts have erred.
Not Nigerian court, that particular
the federal high court in Nigeria
that particular federal court
erred in discharge, it's primary discharge. Well, so it's a Nigerian court because it's enshrined in Section 45 of the Nigerian Constitution. So you're saying that
they have no jurisdiction.
Section 45 of the Nigerian Constitution,
yes,
which even gives this high court the room to even go about and discharge their primary mandate.
Yes.
You're saying that they are wrong in some of the judgments that they've been able to even present.
You should know as a judge when your hands are tied, when you don't have jurisdiction. There are judges who have recused themselves. They say, look, in this matter, based on this session, I don't have jurisdiction. You should look at it. That the Constitution says that in this matter, no proceedings or determination of the panel, it is here now, of the House of Assembly or any matter relating to such proceedings or determination by this panel shall be entertained or questioned in any law court. So the Constitution is clear. So why should you as a judge now? And this Constitution under Section 1 says that it is supreme and have binding authority on every person and authority. A person is the judge. Authority is the court. So the Constitution has authority.
So when the situation has played
out,
when the situation a scenario has played out over the years, where governors approach the court and they get favorable injunctions
all those
from court. So are you saying that at this point in time that Fubara should be allowed to even become the scapegoat to lose his seat?
It's no. I am not saying that what they have written that as is gross misconduct. It is true. I'm not saying it's true or it's false.
So you've said
wait,
let me clear. Injunction.
Let me clear.
Getting an injunction is a faulty foundation. The court so far have
should not go get an injunction. High court doesn't have the power. The court does not have the power to intervene.
Fubara be allowed to be the scapegoat at this point in time.
Scapegoat?
Well, at this time, even to getting an injunction from those.
You said I committed an offense. I said I didn't. The law says if you didn't, come and answer to this panel. You say no. Please don't set up any panel. Don't set up. No. I said I'm not guilty. Set up the panel. Let me come and answer to what you have said. But when I say no, don't set up. I don't want to come. It means there's something I'm hiding. I am not saying that what was listed out as his gross misconduct is true or is false. But what I'm saying is that if you answer to them, come and answer. That's all. If you answer to them and then the panel like Section 8 says. That way the panel says it has not been proved. The man is free. The House of Assembly goes to do their job, and the man, the governor continues to do his job.
All right. So let's talk about the process so far, which has gotten us to this point of talking about impeachment of Governor Fubara. The Assembly, the River State Assembly, have deliberately went on vacation. The Assembly constituted itself again, re-emerged, in order to serve the governor some form of impeachment. By law, is there a provision which gives the Assembly that liberty to sit and not to sit when it has to do with addressing matters of national interest, even in this case of state interest?
Whether they go on vacation and come back to issue it, or they issue it before the vacation, they are all the same thing. What I'm trying to...
So in Fubara's case, a governor that is willing to present his budget and the Assembly is not willing to show up to even receive that budget. Next, the Assembly is pushing for impeachment. by the law, looking at the legal procedures, this process, is it regular? Is it in tandem with the law?
The process of impeachment, which I know, which I've read through, is in tandem with the law.
The procedures, pre-impeachment, impeachment and post-impeachment, looking at the pre-impeachment procedures, is this in tandem with the law?
You know what we're talking now? We are trying to leave the legal...
You are helping us understand the legal position.
Now, if you want us to go to the politics
go to the politics.
We'll get to the politics of it. The legal implications of what I'm talking yet. But if you want us to go to the political point of it, I'll tell you.
To say that the Constitution, because Nigerians watching us across the world,
yes,
want to understand what is even the propulsive approach to the interpretation of the Constitution. Prior to these impeachment procedures, was the procedure right to say a sitting governor wants to bring in its budget to the House and the House went on vacation? Looking at this, doesn't the governor have a right to get an injunction saying, no, this impeachment stuff should be stalled pending on when this House of Assembly decide to listen to me because I have a budget to present? Of course, Governor Fubara has come out to say over time that he doesn't have an issue with the House. He wants to present his budget. But the House have deliberately refused to even want to see him. Looking at all of this, first, is there a lacuna in the Constitution by not even looking at the pre-impeachment notices and also the post-impeachment notices? Because Section 188 captures only the point of impeachment. But looking at Rivers State as a case study, which will become more of academic exercise for a lot of universities across the world, even across Nigeria to start with, can we say at this point that Governor Fubara erred by getting an injunction from the court by looking at the pre-impeachment exercise from the position of the law?
So
the law, there's a lacuna in the law.
I will want to be given some time to talk about this.
Please go ahead.
So you give me some time.
Please.
The law does not provide for anything pre or post in this matter. There's nowhere the Constitution says there's a pre whatever or there's a post whatever. When people talk about a sitting governor is doing this and the House says it, I begin to wonder. I'm not only talking about the Rivers State. Don't as if I'm particularizing. Anywhere a sitting president, it doesn't have absolute rights. No, it doesn't. The people are state, the House of Assembly, National Assembly, are people that are placed to guide and to make sure that it does not, its powers are not overused. No president or governor is absolute. Some people say a sitting governor, You are to be, that's what we talk about the separation of powers, where there are people to checkmate you, to checkmate your activities. You are not absolute. You are not a military dictator. That you just go ahead and say this, I do this, and so it doesn't matter. No, the House of Assembly are the people of the Rivers State. And let me say this now: if Rivers State people feel that the House of Assembly are not doing what they are supposed to do, there is also a provision in this Constitution for you. If I am from a particular constituent, my representative is not doing what I like, and I think they are doing the wrong thing in trying to impeach this government, we will set up a recall process to recall you. The same thing the way you want to impeach a governor. The same thing, your people can also recall you. This time it's not called impeach, it's called recall. The people who voted you, there's a procedure for recalling you here. If there's a particular number we can get and send to INEC a notice that this person who is sent to represent us in this constituency is not representing us well, so we want him out. The people of Rivers State in any of these, most of the constituencies, can put a notice of impeachment, recall to the INEC and bring them back. Nobody can say stop that process. Nobody can go to court and say stop the process of recall of this man. No, you can't do that. So let me also put this to you. Under Section 189, where it is stated that removal of the governor or a president or deputy or both through the process of incapacitation or illness or anything, the speaker is also given power to set up a 5-man panel of qualified medical practitioners to look into the notice sent by the state executive that the governor, just like the governor is not feeling fine, He can no more carry out the functions of his office. So please look at it and let's know whether we can get a new governor. Once Section 189 states that. So the governor now, if truly he's sick, and the Executive Council of the state sends a notice to the speaker set up 5-man panel, just like what is happening. And then the governor on his sick bed sends lawyers to go and take injunction to stop the process of setting up that 5-man medical panel to look at his health. The same thing you are telling me in this Section 188, that you can go to a court and get an injunction to stop the House of Assembly from looking into your misconduct. Same thing, because if you say it is possible to do it here, then you can do it under Section 189, where if the executive says, Executive Council says, look, our president has not been coming out, he's not been feeling well, let's know what to do, whether we can put another governor. And they send a notice to the speaker. Speaker said, I want to set up a 5-man panel, like the Constitution says under Section 189. A 5-man panel of 5 medical doctors, well-recognized practitioners of medicine, to look into the health of the... And then the governor will just go and take a lawyer, say, go and get me injunction, stop them from looking into my health. That's the same thing people are saying, and I'm wondering about it. You don't stop it. Let them look into it. And the Constitution says, when the 5-man panel of the medical listing, look at it, let me even read it so I see. Say, goes and look at it and finds that he's fine, he's not as sick as they say. They will discountenance with that notice. But if they find that he is actually not capable of carrying out the function of his office, the notice is given. The speaker says, sure, you said the 5-man panel submit their report, medical report. The speaker says, and give a notice. Immediately that notice is gazetted. The governor ceases to be the governor of the state. So these are the places. So if you say you can stop the court from looking at the House of Assembly checking his misconduct, then you can also go to court to stop the 5-man panel of medical not to look into his health. So the Constitution says allow this process go through. Both the Section 188 and 189, allow it go through. It will be sorted out. You'll see that the man is not sick. If it's fine, they'll say that one died. Then they'll go into this misconduct issue now and see it, and the panelists look at it and say under subsection 8 and say no. The panel says no, they couldn't prove that misconduct. In the case dies like that. But the process of going to take an injunction from court to stop not to look into your misconduct is what I'm saying. It is wrong.
But it has been allowed to play over time.
Where? How?
I've just
I don't know. Whatever state has happened, it happened.
We cited cases like
whatever state was allowed to happen, it was allowed to happen. I don't know.
It has become like a norm.
No,
it has become a
don't call it norm.
It has become more of even.
So we are going to. There should be disproved.
That issue. Which
I like what Peter B did.
Yeah. Peter
B just allowed them. Yeah, that's what a man should do. I know I've not done anything wrong. So all your what they stated, I don't want to look at begin to read out all their misconduct or whatever they stated. To be read it, they served him. He read it, and I said, well, in this case, I don't think I have done anything wrong. He called them to talk. They said, "I lie. Oh yeah, go on. It's okay." They set up the panel. He answered to the panel. After the panel said, yeah, all those things, and all the said, look, this man was, and they said, "I lie." They impeached him. He went to court. And in court, he won because he stated this. They saw that the procedure was wrong. So this Section 1 does not permit you to halt the process.
In a case where
it permits you to review. The court can review, not to halt it.
Since 1999, this particular Fubara's position,
yes,
which is even getting an injunction from court, has become like a recurring phenomenon and a common decimal factor in Nigerian body
most
politics.
Of them have not been conclusively done. That's why we are where we are. If they were conclusively done. But remember in 1979,
it has become a recurring phenomenon.
The governor of Kaduna State, what's his name now? Balari Musa was impeached. 1979, MPN. It was it PRP? We were kids. I think I was in primary school.
Trying to look at it from taking it from the Fourth Republic.
Yes.
From 1999,
yes,
to where we are.
Because some of you let's
not backdate it to the second.
So let's go
to the second republic.
Okay. Because I'm saying that
of course, some of us were born before then. But then, looking at all of this playing out, we'll now begin to ask: is it the Nigerian judicial system that is faulty, or Fubara's action to even challenge this, which has become a recurring phenomenon? or a common decimal factor to get an injunction from the court?
Don't box me to talk about the judiciary here. Just don't box me. So let me not, but I think a lot of lawyers and we all are beginning to see that a lot of things are wrong with our judiciary. They are from most of them are appointed from the bench. I have 2 or 3 or 4 friends who are now High Court judges in Abuja here. We all left law school together. They are High Court judges. We talk and all that. They are people of high integrity, but they are. You see, the system, like I keep saying, the system in Nigeria has gone to the extent that no one single institution can be singled out as not corrupt. So let's not go there. But what I'm trying to say in effect is that sometimes a lot of things affect the way a judge gives his orders and rulings, not just jurisprudence, like I can say, not just the way the ordinary man sees it, the way the ordinary people see it. How come now? Well, just like this, no, there's something the judge saw that made it to give the order or give a ruling the way he gave. So, but I'm trying for us to look at this thing before we go into the politics of Rivers State even and see why is it happening. If I want to boil it down to the politics, it couldn't have happened if Fubara was a politician. I'm a lawyer, but I'm a politician too. Let me just say this quickly, if you allow me. I came into Abuja here as a copper, 1997, and that was during the Abacha regime, and I got involved in politics and a lot of things. And before you know it, I saw myself politicking and all that. And I was in Ladi Kwali Hall the day PDP was formed. When G34 came together, Solomon La, Alex Ekweme, called them Abubakar Remi, the G34. I led a group of youth corpers and the other youths to Ladi Kwali Hall the day PDP was formed. From then, I've been contesting elections, even in Abuja. I've contested as councillor, I've contested as a vice chairman, as chairman of AMAC. Here, up to today, there's no politician in FCT from my leader, Senator Philip Adida, down to even the present senator, and anybody who has occupied any chairmanship that will say he doesn't know me, Barrister Joe. I'm still in the politics. But if Fubara knew how to play his politics, he wouldn't find himself in this mess he is. People say, how should he have played it? When the man who put him there, do not allow him to. Come on, there are other people that people put, and they knew how to navigate the political terrain, and he couldn't navigate his own political terrain. That is the problem. I'm talking politics now, I'm not talking law. If he had navigated, how can you, out of 27, or is it 27 or 29, I don't know how many House of Assembly members, let's say they are 29, 27 out of them are against you from day one. You couldn't play the politics there and get some to your side. You don't know what you forget that every time they say what Wike is doing to him is not good. What has Wike even done to him? Some people just keep passing allegations. Wike ask him to bring $2 billion every day, every month, every week. Wike say he should do this. How can you prove this? I keep telling people, I don't know Wike personally. I'm not holding brief for him. But if like I said, I contested elections today, all with my personal resources and all my everything. Today, somebody calls me and tells me, come. Barrister Joe, you've been trying to be AMAC chairman how many times? Wasted all your resources. I've sold properties, plazas, my personal properties in Abuja to contest election. I lost, all gone down the drain. I didn't kill myself. But you were brought. Sorry, I'm not holding brief. Somebody brought you, cleaned you up, bought form for you, did all that for you, put you on the seat of a governor. Come on, you have to play some. Know how to play.
And somebody also brought Wike.
I don't want to go there.
Oh, let's go there, Barrister Joe.
Where did the person?
Barrister Joe, somebody brought in Wike.
But somebody also. The person who brought Wike, did tell you had issue with him.
Well,
the person who brought Wike, did tell you had issue with him.
You've seen what I've played out in
I didn't see
politics.
Show me.
Look at the case of Wike, even the tussle between Wike and Amechi. We've seen we've seen tussle between Wike.
No, God, you answered. Did Amechi bring Wike?
I can't say Amechi brought in Wike. We've seen.
So did he tell you had any issue with him?
Jonathan, who literally contested or campaigned for Wike,
yes,
even that in election.
Has she ever come out with
it's no longer a hidden secret.
No. I want to ask you.
It's an open secret right now where we've seen Wike address. We didn't say then bought for Wike. We've seen men of calibers in Rivers State that have recommended Wike and also were able to champion the cause, because becoming the governor of Rivers State, even though when Amechi was there, it was not an easy journey. It was
in any state, it's not easy.
No, for a state where you have a person like Amechi, who was the governor and eventually became the Minister of Transportation, it wasn't easy to become the governor of that state, because federal might will play out. We've seen Wike became governor for 8 years, fighting Amechi tooth and nail, but then he emerged for 8 years as the governor. Now, in this case,
through his political sagacity, not through anybody.
We can't literally say through his political sagacity.
It is. If you don't know,
of course, we had other people behind Wike.
You know that Wike was in PDP, the governor that left before Wike, and I was APC.
Yes.
And the APC was in the federal.
Yes.
Still, he was able to defeat APC in Rivers.
And with his own strength, with his own
political sagacity, I said.
Not even political sagacity.
How?
Can we say
how did
he became the governor?
Could anybody have done that if Wike?
Well,
if PDP had given the ticket to anybody in Rivers State as at that time, PDP would lost Rivers.
Are you sure?
Very. Quote me.
All right. Now, since you've taken us to politics, let's look at what is playing out in Rivers State right now. You've said that Fubara doesn't understand how to play the game.
He couldn't navigate his way.
He doesn't know how to navigate his way, in your words. And that's why he's where he is right now. But looking at the procedures for his own impeachment notices that have been served so far, can we say that the House of Assembly were right with their actions?
Yes. Why I say yes is that the people are always
shutting down.
Listen to wait.
Please go ahead.
You asked me a question, let me answer it.
All right.
You say, is the House of Assembly right? I said yes. You know why I said yes? Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people, and the people are the assembly, whether in the state or international. If you watch every president that wants to survive in Nigeria, they see how they romance, they play, they bring the people together.
But they leave it. But no. Looking at. All right, please go ahead.
The president will always look. He cannot just allow the National Assembly to do what they want. He romances with them. President, you need to navigate. You guys are this one rob this one. You to be able to succeed. If you say I'm a sitting governor, so I said this, you do it. Come on. This is not dictatorship now. You're not a military governor. If people are the state assembly, I keep telling you this, they are elected and they say, okay, this thing, before it came to the open, they will have been talking to you in the, okay, let's do it like this. Okay, and when they see that you are adamant to what they are telling you, before state assembly goes to this extent, all of them, in most cases, you find that 14 are for, so some 10 are against, or some are abstaining. But all coming together, they say, all Wike, all now Wike. How can all of them just only like Wike because Wike is just, what they say, you give them money, you will be governor, you don't get money past Wike.
Well, I don't know about that.
We know. As I told you, I've contested election. Somebody now called me and said, Joe, come. You have been contesting the election all these years, everybody, and you are so popular, everybody knows you. I want to sponsor you. Come there. When after sponsoring me, then a month or two later, I tell him, oh God, leave me alone. I'm a man of myself now. Not in police or not in police of any world, any place in the world. Nobody brings you a month or two later, you tell him, oh God, leave me alone. I want to be a man of myself. Father born you, train you for school. Then you tell and say you don't get work. Baba, leave me alone. I want to be a man of myself. Who born
you? That's very interesting. So where do we go from here? Looking at all of this,
it's terrible because he was given a leeway when the president tried to intervene, and still, recently I'm happy. Rotimi Amechi said something. Rotimi Amechi said, Fubara. No, Rotimi Amechi is not. He and what's it called, Wike are not in good terms, you should know. But he said the truth. He told Fubara, he said, Fubara, be careful, what is it you are doing? All these people in Rivers State, they say they are elders of the party pushing you. They don't like you. It's not that they like you. It's not that they hate Wike. So he should know this and know, what can I do? Do I really want to continue as a governor? How can I do? What can I? You should settle down to find out there's something you can do. There's always a solution to every problem. Call yourself to order. Call people and say, how do we go about this? What is too big about coming to call your father? Oh yeah. in the Bible, we saw prodigal son. After he took in his share of food, he run and wasted all his money. He came back to his father, say, Baba, forgive me. And the father took him back. Go back to the man who made you and say, oh God, whatever I've done, forgive me.
So in this case, we have a prodigal.
He's a prodigal son. She come back home.
All right. Well, that's a good way.
Come back home.
It's a good way to.
If he wants to survive as governor, if he doesn't want, look, he cannot stop this impeachment. I'm telling you, it's going to be difficult because I don't want to talk about the courts the way they are today. He cannot. Out. If they want to do politics in the legal aspect of it, he will not be able to survive it. Go back and tell your Baba, say, sorry, sir, take me back.
All right.
Or he will not survive this impeachment.
We'll leave that. Governor Fubara is listening to you at this point in time to go back to Baba to say thank you and I'm sorry. And of course, he will do the needful.
I pray he does that. I like the man because of his countenance. He's so quiet and easygoing, but people are deceiving him. If you watch the way he is, his attitude, he's not a troublesome person. If you see the way he even talk, I love him, I like him. I have not met him. But if he has people like me to talk to him, oh God, this will not be so.
Of course,
he's not a politician. I wish he was there.
Korero, of course,
I hope he's watching.
Yeah, he's paying attention.
And call me, I'll tell him, let's see how we'll go about it.
That's becoming advert. Maybe we'll drop your invoice. We'll drop the invoice at the end of this show.
Please do.
All right. But then we want to say thank you so much, Barrister Joseph Mekwuye, for finding out time to be with us here on Korero.
Thank you.
Well, this is how far we can go tonight here on the show. Do not forget that you can also leave a comment with us on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.